The long arm splint may be used to immobilize the distal humerus or elbow joint. Specific indications include humeral shaft fractures and elbow dislocations. Place the patient in a sitting position with the arm held in neutral abduction and the elbow flexed to 90 degrees. Use a piece of Webril to measure the posterior aspect of the entire arm. Begin at the inferior border of the deltoid muscle and proceed down around the elbow and then along the ulnar side of the forearm to the wrist. Lay this piece of Webril on a bedside table and then roll out an additional 3 layers to form the cast padding. Use 2 pieces of Webril to make the top layer, each offset from the previous layers by 50%. Next, roll out 10 to 12 layers of 4 to 6 inch plaster on top of the Webril. The plaster may be folded back and forth upon itself during this process. Several rolls of plaster may be required for the long arm splint. Soak the plaster in room temperature water until fully saturated. Raise the plaster from the bucket and remove the excess water by allowing the layers to fold down on themselves and then gently squeezing on them. Lay the plaster down on the cast padding and smooth it with the palms of your hands. Fold the overhanging edges of the top layer of Webril over the plaster to form a single outer layer that will prevent the plaster from sticking to the elastic bandages. Apply the splint to the posterior aspect of the arm, from the deltoid muscle to the wrist. An assistant, or the patient if he is able, may be required to hold the splint in place while the elastic bandage is being readied. Use 4-inch elastic bandage to secure the plaster to the arm and apply a moderate amount of tension during the wrapping process. In general, elastic bandages should be applied in a proximal to distal fashion. However, in this example, the first wrap of the elastic was placed in a more proximal position to help hold the splint in place during application. Recheck the distal neurovascular function once you are finished. This should include capillary refill, sensory function of the median, ulnar, and radial nerves, and the motor function of these nerves as well.